Last 30 seconds. Bridge running into traffic. Virgili. The dying embers of a disappointing campaign for the Jets, of a terrific campaign for the Wanderers that still has a bit to run, or at least they will hope so, come finals time. Topor-Stanley, it's all over. They only needed a point, but thanks to Mark Bridges' brace, they got all three, and Western Sydney Wanderers, in their first season, are premiers for Season 8 of the Hyundai A-League. An incredible achievement, but nobody can deny them their success. The fairy tale story of Australian sport is complete, or at least, and I'm sure Tony Popovic would concur with this, partly complete. They will want to win the championship too, but for now, the premiership will certainly do. So far as the Jets are concerned, disappointment for them. Gary Van Egmond is gracious enough to smile and shake the hand of his opposite number. The Jets miss out on the finals for the third year in a row, but today is all about Tony Popovic and his team and those supporters. The only disappointment for them, and I have to say for us too, is that the trophy itself is not here to be presented. But that's for another day. The Wanderers are all smiles, and why not? They're the premiers. They've defeated the Jets pretty comprehensively here tonight by 3-0. A brace from Mark Bridge and Rocky Visconti with his first goal since December 2011. More than enough, Robbie Slater, on a pretty emphatic night for the Wanderers and a very disappointing night for the Jets.
Well, the Jets miss out 3 seasons in a row, finals football, but for Popovic, he's not worried about that. Look at that, in front of his fans, he goes over. He doesn't show much emotion, but now he finally is. And there's the Premier's plate held up there. That's a fake one, of course, but a brilliant display from the Wanderers. Emphatic, as you said. It was never in doubt.
Well, the only thing Tony Popovic won as a player was the Oceania Nations Cup a few times with Australia. It's his first trophy as a coach, and you'd venture to say, Robbie, there might be 1 or 2 more before he's finished. We'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. Meantime, we're going to head down and get some reaction pitch side with Tom Chadwick. Tom.
Thank you very much, Simon. I'm joined by Tarek Elrich. Tarek, how does that feel?
Yeah, you know, my first premiership, and you know, it's been an amazing journey. Obviously, you know, 9 months ago we didn't have a team, and you know, to be premiers is great, and obviously, you know, playing against my old club and obviously the old fans, it was good to do it with both my previous fans and my new fans. So no, so happy with the boys, and yeah, buzzing.
You mentioned 9 months ago Western Sydney Wanderers weren't even a club. Could you have seen possibly that this could have happened?
Mate, to be honest, the first day I spoke to Tony Popovic, just the look in the eye, and obviously just his determination, and if I had half the belief he had, I knew that we'd achieve something in such a short time. You know, he's true to his word, and he obviously drilled us from day one. You know, pre-season wasn't easy, and obviously he's put a team together. He's put a team together that team of champions, and the boys all get along, and I think you know, the Wanderers is one happy family.
Congratulations, mate. Enjoy it.
Thank you. We'll do. Thank you.
Captain Michael Beecham. Michael, this must be a surreal feeling.
Yeah, very proud of the boys, and is it a home game for us today? I don't know, mate. Like, the fans are unbelievable, and gutsy effort from the boys again today.
I was going to ask that, have you seen anything like this? I know obviously you might see it a bit at Parramatta, but all these fans have come down from Sydney. It's quite remarkable, isn't it?
It's just unbelievable, mate. Like you said, surreal, and to have the backing of this many supporters. They travelled 2.5 hours up the F3, and it didn't feel like an away match today, that's for sure.
Now I have to bring you down to ground. How do you refocus for the finals?
Oh, look, we've got a week to regather and hopefully get a few more boys back, and obviously we enjoyed tonight, but we've still got 2 more games to go, so that's what we're focused on.
Congratulations, mate. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, mate.
What an achievement from the Western Sydney Wanderers. As Michael Beecham questioned, is this a home game? Well, it's certainly not, but it feels like it. Well, there's a plate of sorts. The Premier's plate, it's not there yet, but Lavano Haliti's got his hands on some sort of plate. Andy Harper and John Cosmina join me for the next 60 minutes. So much to talk about, but first things first, this achievement, Harps, from the new boys.
Well, it's been coming for a number of weeks now, hasn't it? Ever since they got their noses in front of the Central Coast Mariners, who were struggling for points at the time, probably more so than performances, but certainly points. But from the moment they got their noses in front, they just continued to roll on. And it was the same tonight, Cosy. You know, we'll talk about Newcastle a bit later, but no surprise in what the Wanderers did tonight. And in the end, despite the pressure that was building tonight, no surprise that they've managed to come through at the end of it.
Tonight, and the fact that Popper's been able to get them up and keep them mentally stable. And he said before the game there was no sign of nerves at all through the week, and that's a good thing. But Popper showed no signs of nerves either on the bench. Yeah. He hasn't done in the weeks gone by. But look, they dissected Newcastle tonight. They were very professional, as was said in commentary. All of them did their jobs. They all understood their jobs and they did their jobs. And look, I think Newcastle probably helped them out a little bit as well, because they didn't turn up tonight.
Gentlemen,
but take nothing away.
Sorry, hold that thought for one moment, because we'll come straight back to you. But Tony Popovic is standing by with Tom Chadwick to have a chat with us now. Let's go back to Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mel. The atmosphere here is incredible. I can barely hear myself think. Tony Popovic, you must be a very, very proud man.
Yeah, certainly proud. It's a great day. You can hear the fans at the moment. It's quite fitting that we're here celebrating with them, and it's hard to reflect right now, but obviously very proud of all the players.
You've been around football for a very long time, and also Australian football for a very long time. Have you ever seen scenes like this?
No, it's quite special, and really honoured to be the coach of this football club and to have this kind of support.
What's the secret of forming a team like this from scratch?
I don't know the secret, but obviously a lot of hard work and a real strong unity, not just amongst the playing group, but I think the staff, the whole club, the fans as well, and it's been a special journey.
How do you juggle the celebrations now to moving on to the final series?
Look, I'll worry about that a bit later. I'll let the players enjoy this for the next few hours, and it'll certainly be an enjoyable bus trip back home.
Tony, congratulations.
Thank you.
Mel McLaughlin, back to you.
Thanks very much, Tom. We are asking the question on Twitter as well. Has Tony Popovic's achievement been the best coaching performance in the history of the A-League? Hashtag Fox Football yes, or hashtag Fox Football no. That will spark plenty of debate, but I can say that he's equalled with this victory the 18th for the Wanderers. That equals Ange Postecoglou's record of 18 in a regular season from 2 seasons ago with Brisbane Roar. We know they broke the Australian football record when they won 10 in a row. The achievements, the milestones, they keep on going. Cosy, back to you, getting back to what you were saying regarding
Before we so rudely interrupted you,
yeah.
I didn't hold the thought. I can't remember what I was talking about.
We were talking about the achievements, but unfortunately, before I cut you off, I need to cut you off again before you've even started. And we need to go back to hear from the goalkeeper, Ante Kovic, speaking with Tom.
I asked a similar question to your coach. You've been around Australian football for a very long time. Have you seen scenes like this?
Not in this country. This is they're phenomenal. They've been around us all year and supporting us, and they're really our 12th player, and they deserve this just as much as we do. It's been a fantastic year.
9 months ago, the Western Sydney Wanderers did not exist. Culture?
It's the culture. It's the boys working for each other. It's a never say die attitude. We've got a team full of winners, and we knew we had something special if we just worked hard at it. And we've done the small things right, and we've reaped the rewards this year. And a lot of people wrote us off at the beginning of the year, but these group of lads never did.
All you needed was 1 point tonight. It was pretty emphatic, though.
It was well deserved. 3 goals. In my opinion, it could have been 1 or 2 more. I think we played them off the park and left it to the last minute, and it's probably the best feeling I've had in a long time.
Mate, congratulations. Go and enjoy it.
Cheers, mate. We'll do.
Rocky Visconti, mate, congratulations. You've got to talk us through that goal.
I just saw one of our players make a run forward. I tried to get into a space where I could have a shot, and I've hit it and it's gone in, and I didn't know what to do after I scored.
Well, it was bloody good. Talk me through the celebrations here. I mean, I don't think I've seen anything like this in Australian football. You're a young player that obviously hasn't been around for too long. What do you make of these celebrations?
It's unbelievable. I think there was talk, I think 8,000 Wanderers supporters coming up today, and we just know wherever we're going to play, we're going to have a good travelling support. Most games at Sydney feel like home games with these guys here, and I think it's brilliant.
Can you win the championship?
Of course we can. I think anyone in the top 6 can. You saw last night. Brisbane can turn it on. Every team can turn it on their day. We just got to make sure every performance go better and better, and we stick to what Pop wants us to do.
Well, mate, go and enjoy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, McLaughlin, again, it is back to you in the studio.
Tom Chadwick doing a great job. I can say from experience they are very, very noisy. It is very, very hard to hear. But Harps, we've seen in interviews with Wanderers, with the coach and the players, week in, week out, they don't give too much away. Tonight is a rare exception.
Yeah, well, tonight's the night to celebrate. This is what they've been working towards. I'll have to stand corrected on this, but Tony Popovic walking across the pitch to acknowledge the crowd, I think he's waited till now to do that. Most, if not all nights, at the conclusion of the 90 minutes, Popovic congratulates the other coach and then goes into the dressing room. He makes no song and dance about anything. I think that sets the template for the club in general. He has done an indescribably good job. This is a absolutely mammoth achievement by this club. Johnny Tatsimus, the guy who's got my hairstyle just next to him, the football general manager, another great appointment, ex of the Jets as well.
Yep.
But how can you say anything but words of praise for these guys?
And Cozzy, as a head coach yourself, what about the 3 guys that Tom Chadwick just interviewed? We saw Tarek Elrich, Newcastle didn't want him. Ante Kovic, Melbourne Victory didn't want him. Rocky Visconti couldn't get a run or much of a run at Brisbane Roar. And you don't want to say reject, but these clubs went, OK, fine, you can go. And look, it goes to another measure of what Popovic has done with the selection of players and what he's made of them.
Oh, look, I think he's recognised the players for the talents that they are. You've got to bring Mark Bridge into that as well. Bridgie had a great game tonight, and actually wish he'd got a hat-trick. It would have been great for him. But Popper went to Germany with Ante Kovic, so he knows him. He played at Sydney United with him. Or Ante was at Marconi, actually, wasn't he, with you?
Yeah.
But they knew each other growing up in the western suburbs of Sydney, so he knew what sort of character he wanted. Popper chose characters that were going to do a job, and he picked characters. And you look at the players that he picked, like Polyak, Pollens, Nikolai, Michael Beecham. They've all stood up this season. Mark Bridges stood up. Hersey's had a fantastic season. Ono started off slow, but he's come into his own in the second half of the season and been outstanding. So Popper's picked good players, and he had an idea of what he wanted. He knew how he wanted to play, and they haven't varied from the start of the season till now. They have played the same way week in, week out. You find a lot of coaches tend to tinker a little bit now and then when either personnel change or results aren't quite going your way. But Popper knew what he wanted and he stuck to that, and they've worked at it, and they've got their due rewards for it as well.
And Harps, it's not just players, they're not just standing up, it's getting the absolute best that we've seen out of them, the likes of Topor-Stanley and Mark Bridge, for example.
Well, they're realising their potential, but they haven't realised their potential. I think there's more to come from Mark Bridge. I think there's more to come from Nikolai Topor-Stanley. But it is unavoidably true that this is the best output that those two in particular have delivered. Michael Beecham, as a separate case, he'd set a bit of a standard for himself already in that first year with the Mariners, player of the match in the grand final. In that first season, then went to Germany. Things didn't go great for Beecham after there. Probably the high point was that World Cup performance against Serbia when he was magnificent. But, we've said before, the improvement in those 3 guys is a direct reflection on Tony Popovic.
OK, let's go back to the ground now. Tom's going to have a chat with Nikolai Topor-Stanley, one of the guys we've been talking about.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mel. Nikolai Topor-Stanley, I know your voice is just about to go. You must be celebrating pretty hard. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I just can't describe it. I mean, it's my first silverware as a professional and as a senior player, and I'm over the moon.
When you travelled down from Sydney today, I know you must have been expecting at least a point, but it was an emphatic victory, wasn't it?
Look, we treat every game the same. We go out to win. That's why our away record speaks for itself. We treat everything the same and we prepare. And yeah, that's how we do it.
You guys have obviously had incredible support this season, and I know that you were expecting some travelling fans, but did you expect that many?
Look, the boys are saying it feels like a home game. The atmosphere's great. They've been great all year, and it's, as I said, it's a fairy tale, and it's come true. But we've still got that grand final plate to win.
Well, that was going to be the next question. How do you refocus for the finals?
Easily. We've been doing it all year. You know, there's no secret. There's no coincidence. That's why we went on a 10-run win streak. So we're very grounded, and we come in every day looking to improve.
Nikolai, congratulations. Good luck for the finals.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
And we are now Bridgie. Mark Bridge, congratulations, man of the match. You have a habit of scoring in important games, don't you?
So people keep telling me, yeah. No, look, it was a good performance by the boys. We knew we needed to play well. We needed to put in a big effort. We had a lot of players out and injured. A lot of people were questioning us for the title. But we proved them wrong, and I think it's well-deserved.
You had 5 changes going into tonight. You only needed 1 point, and it was a really dominating victory. Does that give you a lot of confidence going into the finals?
I think so. Look, we still have a lot of players, a lot of important players to come back in. But we showed we have a lot of depth today. We put in a great performance. We've got a week off now, so all those guys with the niggly injuries can recoup fully. And hopefully we're raring to go for that first semi.
What is the plan in the next week or so? Is it more of a relax and try and get the body right?
You haven't heard about us. We don't relax. No, look, it'll be tough. I think we'll use this to top up our fitness a bit. And then we'll see if we get the weekend off or not, if we're lucky.
Just really quickly, what, you didn't want the hat-trick?
Don't get me started. I should have had the one before that with the volley. 4 goals. I'm missing chances left, right and centre these days. So.
Well, Bridgie, man of the match, congratulations, mate.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
And Mel McLaughlin, again, it is back to you in the studio.
Thanks very much, Tom. Well, Mark Bridge, he was the man of the match, as mentioned, the Alex Tobin points. Here they are, Mark Bridge with 3, Nikolai Topor-Stanley with 2, Yusuf Hersey picking up 1 on his return from that suspension last week. So the usual suspects stepping up, as always. Cozzy, as you said it and he said it, he was unlucky not to get that hat-trick in the end.
Great opportunity. It's just the way it bounces for you sometimes. But Bridge has scored more goals this season than he has in the history of the A-League. He's got into double figures for the first time, and he's a player that, and I said it when I signed him at Sydney, he's a player of immense talent. And from my perspective, he should have been in the national team before. He's the one that blew his chances. I think he's realised that maybe your football career is only a very finite period of your life, and you have to take the most of every opportunity, and maybe he's doing that now. It's not too late for him yet either, or Nikolai for that matter.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point. Yeah, the green and gold as well is another subject that rears its head sometimes, especially with Topor-Stanley. In some circles, Harps, 11 goals now for him.
Yeah, well, he's a championship player. He's proven it twice. He's goal scorer in the Jets' success, season 3. He scored the goal when Sydney FC won their second grand final. He's secured the Premier's plate here today. And why can't he win the championship for the West Sydney Wanderers? It's going to be a fantastic final series. And, you know, Cozzy, we've been through this discussion 1,000 times, seemingly every year, but we can do both in this country. You can just watch the team there and the players, how much they know, and the fans know what it means to be first past the post. It's a reward in itself, isn't it? Plus you get a bit of silverware, you get the Premier's plate. But we know in 3 weeks' time, it's game on for the championship. And I think we can cope with both in this country very happily.
I don't think we have a choice. As much as I'd like to see, Premiership is the be-all and end-all, but it's not that way. I grew up like that, and I'm very sort of stuck in my ways, which you know about. But no, in Australia, because of the football codes that we compete against, you need to have a final series, and I think it adds a little bit of flavour to the whole competition. And the way that West Sydney have won it today, emphatically, and the way that their fans have celebrated, and the way their fans have been the whole season, they've got some silverware now. It would be great if they could go on and do the double.
Very, very quickly, Premier's plate, both of you. Should it have been presented in Newcastle?
I think so.
Yep.
There you have it. OK, well, because the finals have come early, from now until the grand final day on April 21st, former international referee Matthew Breese will be very familiar to all of you A-League fans out there. He's decided to join us. He's going to weigh in case of any controversy, any questionable decisions. Matthew, thanks so much for coming in. It's great to have you on board. Now, in the first half, we did see a couple of questionable decisions. The second goal to Mark Bridge, a question mark whether it was onside. What were your thoughts?
Absolutely. Despite a wonderful night for the Wanderers, Newcastle, there was a couple of controversial moments. The first one here, you can see it's flicked on by the Wanderers player, and at first glance it might have looked as though he was offside, but when you look at the vision and you look at the view seen by the assistant referee, the attacking player Bridge was onside. He goes on to score the goal, so it's a wonderful decision from the linesman.
OK, and also we saw this free kick awarded. This was involving Craig Goodwin. Did he get it right here? Because there was a question of a penalty shout.
Look, there's real doubt about whether it was a free kick outside the box or it should have been a penalty. You can see here the referee, Ben Williams, is really well positioned. The attacking player seems to get in first, and it appears as though the Wanderers players made contact inside the box. So if you look at the vision seen by Ben Williams, it could have well been a penalty.
So you're saying penalty, and it was 1-0 to the Wanderers at that point.
Correct, and it could have changed the complexity of the game.
Exactly right. All right, Matthew, it's great to get your thoughts, and we look forward to having you on board for the next couple of weeks. OK, time for a very quick break. So much to talk about. We also have Socceroos, but we're going to talk plenty of A-League and, of course, the rest of this weekend as well. It's a huge weekend in the Hyundai A-League. Don't go anywhere.